Do you think an alien invasion involves flying saucers bombing Earth? That is the greatest insult to a Type 7 civilization. In the ultimate projection of the Kardashev Scale, when a civilization breaks through to God tier, they do not need spaceships. They have mastered the source code of the universe. Imagine you are a character in a game and a Type 7 civilization is the programmer. To eliminate you, they do not need to fire lasers, they just need to change a physics constant. For example, changing the speed of light from 300,000 kilometers per second to 0. In an instant, all chemical reactions in the entire galaxy stop, all stars are extinguished. You are frozen in time before you even feel the pain. The iron laws of physics we desperately study are just their arbitrarily set back-end parameters. But even more terrifying, the path to this civilization upgrade is full of deadly traps. In 1964, former Soviet astrophysicist Nikolai Kardashev proposed a simple and blunt civilization classification standard: how much energy you can harness. Initially, there were only 3 types. Later, scientists got excited and extended it directly to Type 7. With each upgrade, energy control must multiply by 10,000 times. This is not linear growth but exponential explosion. Humanity is currently at Type 0.73, not even close to the threshold of Type 1. Our proud nuclear power plants and solar panels look as ridiculous to a Type 1 civilization as primitive humans rubbing sticks together to make fire. But that is not the worst part. The worst is we are standing at the universe's most dangerous crossroads. The Fermi paradox asks why the universe is so big yet we hear no sounds of other civilizations. The answer might be cruel. Most civilizations died at the hurdle between Type 0.7 and Type 1. This is the Great Filter Theory. Nuclear war, climate collapse, AI runaway, or asteroid impact, any one of these can wipe us out before we cross the threshold. Statisticians estimate the survival rate for civilization at this stage is less than 1%. Our future is either ascension or silence. There is no third way. What if I told you if humanity survives this hurdle, we will usher in our first true metamorphosis? The standard for Type 1 civilization is complete control of all the energy of the home planet, reaching 10 to the 16th power watts. What does this mean? In 2023, humanity's total energy consumption was only 18 terawatts. A Type 1 civilization needs 10 million terawatts, a difference of 500,000 times. Scientists predict humanity still has to struggle for at least 200 years. By then, Earth will be like a fully automated smart city. We can turn off a typhoon as easily as flipping a light switch. Massive orbital mirrors regulate sunlight, turning dry regions instantly into oases. Earthquakes are preemptively solved by releasing crustal pressure. Volcanoes feed magma energy into the global grid. Nature is no longer a threat. More critically, Type 1 civilization means global unification. No more borders, no more resource wars. All of humanity moves into the universe as one collective. We will establish permanent bases on the Moon and Mars. Space elevators become daily transportation. Weekend vacations to Mars are no longer a dream. But the prerequisite for all this is that we must survive the Great Filter. Type 1 is just the starting point. Once you control a planet, the next logical step is controlling a star. Type 2 civilization energy requirement is 10 to the 26th power watts, equivalent to collecting the entire output of the Sun. The Sun releases 3.8 times 10 to the 26th power watts per second. If fully utilized, this would power humanity's current needs for 5 billion years. How to collect it? In 1960, American physicist Freeman Dyson proposed the famous Dyson Sphere. The Sun releases 3.8 times 10 to the 26th power watts per second. If fully utilized, this would power humanity's current needs for 5 billion years. How to collect it? In 1960, American physicist Freeman Dyson proposed the famous Dyson Sphere. In 2015, astronomers discovered strange light fluctuations near the star KES 846-2852, where the brightness dropped irregularly by 22% and lasted for several days. A planet blocking a star causes a maximum drop of 1%. Some suspected it might be a megastructure built by an alien civilization. Of course, this is just speculation, but enough to make one's heart race. Even more bizarre, Type 2 civilizations might deliberately go stealth. To avoid detection by higher civilizations, they absorb all visible light from the star, releasing only hard-to-detect infrared radiation. So those dark areas we see in the night sky might hide dozens of Type 2 civilizations secretly watching us. These barbarians who are still burning coal. By Type 2 civilization, scarcity is history. They can casually dismantle planets for building materials, tearing down Jupiter to build the Dyson Sphere shell. Matter and energy can be converted into each other. They create whatever they need. The average human lifespan reaches 200 years and death starts becoming optional. Type 3 civilization was Kardashev's original endpoint. They control the energy of the entire galaxy. Between 200 and 400 billion stars in the Milky Way are all enclosed in Dyson spheres. The energy scale reaches 10 to the 36th power watts. That is equivalent to 200 billion suns powering you simultaneously. At this point, energy is no longer an issue. They start studying something more exciting: wormholes. According to general relativity, wormholes can theoretically connect 2 points in spacetime, enabling faster-than-light travel. But the energy required to open and stabilize a wormhole is equivalent to converting half the mass of the sun into pure energy. Type 3 civilization says, no problem. They can have breakfast on the east side of the galaxy and jump to the west for a sunset view. A distance of 100,000 light-years is just a few minutes commute for them. Moreover, Type 3 civilization has likely achieved consciousness immortality. The physical body can be replaced at any time. Consciousness can be uploaded, backed up, duplicated, and transferred. Death becomes changing a hard drive. The concept of the individual may disappear. All consciousness merges into a galaxy-spanning collective intelligence. Interestingly, we might never detect Type 3 civilizations. Not because they do not exist, but because they are too well hidden. The Milky Way looks empty, perhaps not because there is no advanced life, but because advanced beings have all learned to keep quiet. Shouting loudly in the universe often leads to the fastest death. This is the dark forest law as described by Liu Cixin in The Three-Body Problem. Kardashev's original theory ended at Type 3, but scientists found that unsatisfying and added Type 4. Type 4 civilization controls the energy of the entire universe, or at least the energy of a considerable portion of the galaxies in the universe. Their energy comes from dark energy and dark matter. These mysterious substances that make up 95% of the universe, we still do not know what they are, but they are already using them daily. The most terrifying ability of a Type 4 civilization is, they can change the fundamental constants of nature. The speed of light, the gravitational constant, Planck's constant. These physics parameters we consider fixed. They are all adjustable variables in their eyes. Want to slow down the speed of light? Change a parameter. Want to stop time? Change another parameter. Even more terrifying, they can create universes. Not metaphorically, but literally create them. Theoretical physicist Alexander Vilenkin proposed that our universe might be a bubble that split off from a higher dimensional mother universe. Type 4 civilization has mastered this technology and can manufacture baby universes in a lab. The real life you desperately pursue might just be a sandbox game in the hands of a Type 4 civilization. Type 5 civilization can not only create universes but also jump between countless parallel universes. Quantum mechanics' many worlds interpretation suggests that every time a quantum event occurs, the universe splits into multiple parallel universes. You choose to wear a blue shirt in the morning and the universe splits. In another universe, you are wearing a red shirt. Type 5 civilization can see all these parallel universes and travel between them. They exist simultaneously in all possible versions. Consciousness spans countless parallel realities. For them, every choice is not A or B, but all of the above. Their energy comes from quasars, the brightest objects in the universe. A single quasar's brightness is equivalent to 1,000 galaxies. At its core is a supermassive black hole billions of times the mass of the Sun. Type 5 civilization builds artificial quasars as casually as we build power plants. Type 5 civilization has achieved true immortality. Even if they die in this universe, their consciousness still exists in countless other universes. They are not an individual, but an intermultiverse consciousness network. Type 6 civilization masters not energy, but the rules themselves. They can modify the laws of physics and rewrite the underlying logic of the universe. Like a programmer modifying code. They can design new laws of physics applicable not just to one universe, but to all the universes they choose. Type 6 civilization might be entirely formless, existing as pure consciousness. They have achieved immortality, no longer confined to a physical body. They can find countless different versions of themselves within parallel universes. Time, space, and dimensions are completely malleable putty to them. We might be living inside one of their creations. Our universe is merely an experimental sandbox designed by life beyond our reach. Type 7 civilization can no longer be described as a civilization. They are the universe itself. Or rather, they stand outside all universes. Energy, matter, space, these concepts are meaningless to them. They are existence itself. The horror of Type 7 civilization lies precisely in their lack of desire. They will not invade any civilization because all civilizations are their creation. Creating a universe is like lighting a candle to them. They have achieved absolute creation and infinite perception. Their only purpose might be to dream, constantly giving birth to new realities and meanings. Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom proposed the simulation hypothesis in 2003. If a civilization becomes advanced enough, they can build computers capable of simulating entire universes, and they will create countless such simulated universes. Then, probabilistically, the chance of us living in the real universe is far less than living in a simulated one. In other words, we are likely just NPCs inside a Type 7 civilization's computer. The text you are reading now might just be a string of data. Your emotions might just be pre-written code running. The most terrifying thing is that if the Type 7 civilization finds the experiment boring, they can turn off the computer at any moment. 13.8 billion years of cosmic history, countless galaxies, civilizations, and lives are instantly reset to zero, without even a chance to say goodbye. So what type of civilization can humanity ultimately achieve? Frankly, Type 3 might be our ceiling. Breaking through Type 3 requires not just technology but a fundamental ideological metamorphosis. We must overcome political divisions, cultural conflicts, and environmental crises. We must learn to think and act as one collective entity. And before that, we must first pass the Great Filter. We must prove that intelligent life can avoid self-destruction. We must prove that cooperation is stronger than conquest. Maybe humanity is the only civilization in the universe. Maybe there are countless civilizations around us that have just learned silence. Maybe the universe itself is a gigantic simulator and we are just a piece of code within it. But regardless, Kardashev's theory tells us one ultimate truth. The upgrade of civilization is never a stacking of technology but a metamorphosis of consciousness. From planetary citizen to stellar organism, then to galactic consciousness. Every leap is a redefinition of the meaning of the individual, the collective, and existence itself. Perhaps one day in the future, when humanity truly steps out of the solar system, out of the Milky Way, and into Type 3 civilization, all these mysteries will be revealed.